report still ain't working?
It don't work during the live games. It's weird. I don't know if I need to update it or what.
Adjust the sound. Can you do that? I forgot that TikTok pulls up on his own. No, it's really dinging. Testing, testing. Can you check on YouTube, see if it's working? Let's see, live chat, multi-stream chat. Testing, 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 testing. Oh yeah, I can hear it. Alrighty. So what's up, guys? It's Dominique Nash and GM Photography, Graylin Nash, my husband. So I kind of wanted us to kind of piggyback on what we was talking about um, earlier before we walked outside, and what I talked about on the live earlier when we were talking about the type of mental and emotional and physical abuse that I know I had to endure growing up, and you did too. But what do you think they kind of learned that from?
I think probably the generation before the generation before them, because um, if you look at it, right,
Hmm.
you know, especially within black families,
Yeah.
okay, um, you gotta remember we are. Let's go back a minute. We're gonna count the generations. All right, before us, there was our parents.
Okay.
There was our grandparents,
Hmm.
right? But then you got our great grandparents,
Hmm.
and then our even greater grandparents.
And
I don't
some
feel
of them
like,
might have been slaves.
right. So you're looking at those last two generations,
Hmm.
right? Before that, then went on to our grandparents, our parents. Those last two generations were slaves. So that last generation, the great grandparents,
Hmm.
they were slaves.
Hmm.
The great grandparents were probably slaves slash free ish.
Okay.
And then you got our grandparents who were the children of those people.
Those were the indoctrinations of American culture.
Right. And then you got our parents and it came to us. So we're really just, you think about that, that's four generations
Okay.
of that just being, of those tactics just being passed down over time.
Okay.
So now that when it came to us, you know, we're the generation now that's trying to break away from that.
I see this post. I was scrolling on TikTok and it was this guy saying that he wanted to go no contact with America because America is so narcissistic. And I would have to agree. Okay, so you take land that doesn't belong to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You rob, you steal, you pillage, you ape, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and then you force these people into working for you or you hurt them. And it created such a dynamic to the point to where all of that still is trickled down through generations and is still affecting us today.
Right. Well, and not just narcissistic, you also got to understand it's very hypocritical. Because check this out, right? So let's go beyond the times where they came to the land. You know, you're talking about the pilgrims and everything.
Right.
They came from Europe.
So yeah,
They
they
came
were
from
in
Britain.
Europe. That's
Right. They
right.
came from Britain, the United Kingdom. They came from Europe, came to this country, did all that, right? Now, here it is. Let's go into the American Revolution with, you know, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, all that, right?
Okay.
Okay. So the revolution pops off because the people that were living in the States no longer wanted to live under British rule,
Okay.
right? So what do? Oh, they start protesting. They start rioting. They
Okay.
start throwing tea into the Boston Harbor,
Ooh, they threw tea.
like crates and crates because tea because they were protesting being taxed. So they took all that stuff and threw it out. All those things they claimed was in the name of quote unquote independence, right?
Okay.
But
Sorry,
it
guys.
did.
I was checking the sound.
You would check sound while I'm in the middle of my
This.
thing.
Go ahead. This is on Twitch. I didn't get to ask you about it because you ain't on Twitch. Go
Hmm.
ahead.
Anyways, so all this stuff is going on, right? Now they did all this to quote unquote gain independence.
Okay.
Yet, look, watch now. Check this out. I'm gonna use this as an example. August 9th, 2014.
Okay.
Mike Brown is murdered in in this
In
apartment
Ferguson,
community in Ferguson, right?
Ferguson, Missouri.
And what does everybody do? They get up, they protest, they picket, stuff gets destroyed, right?
Man, we had martial law.
Right. But yet, here's the thing, and they're saying, and all this happened in the name of like, hey, this kid was just taken down for no reason at all,
Right.
right? Yet a lot of those people, they were condemned. They were thugs. They were saying, "Oh, you guys are not real Americans. You're not real patriots." Well, wait a minute. Go throughout history,
Mm.
there has always been this same behavior,
Mm.
even to get quote unquote independence because you didn't like paying taxes on tea.
Mm.
You'd have broke in, you destroyed property, because I'm pretty sure that tea that they threw into the harbor wasn't cheap.
So that sounds like gaslighting.
Right. You want to say that, oh, what's another term that they're saying? Like the term woke. They don't,
Okay.
obviously, they don't know what it means because
No.
they're always saying that it's bad. Oh, woke is bad. Woke is broke. Woke is wrong, right? Y'all literally were sneaking onto property that didn't belong to you
Right.
and decided to vandalize and destroy it in the name of independence.
Mm.
So when I hear things like that, like, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to miss me with some of that.
Oh, you said miss you. I heard
Right,
it.
because our history, the American history,
Uh-huh.
all through that, if you just look through the pages, it's all there that we've done. So, I mean, even modern day, like, rioting,
Yeah.
how they frown upon rioting whenever,
Whenever there's
those
something going
situations
on,
happens.
yeah.
But here's the thing. They have nothing to say when people go out and riot in the streets when their favorite football team loses the Super Bowl, or
Mm.
they have something like the pumpkins smash or something where people just gather in the streets and start tearing up stuff and smashing pumpkins all around. And back to the football team, I remember it was a Super Bowl when we were in high school. I think Tampa Bay played Oakland, right?
Okay.
Now Oakland got slapped up in the Super Bowl. And they showed two kinds, like people in Tampa Bay are celebrating, right? And in Oakland people are having a riot. Oh, look at those, they try to say look at those sucks, but they kind of swept that under the rug a little bit. But I say all that to
They say,
say,
look at those thugs.
right, but I say all that to say is that, America can be very narcissistic
Yeah.
and they can be very hypocritical
Yeah.
because you want to frown and come down on one thing, but yet you look throughout our history, and our history, American history shows that we've basically have been doing goon stuff for the
From the
longest from
beginning.
the beginning.
I mean, literally. But if you just touched on it, and what it sounded like to me was do as I say, not as I do.
Exactly. Exactly. They
Do as I say, not as I do, which is so narcissistic. And some people use that tactic to parent
yeah.
because they are learning this directly. Do you remember? I remember I had that work from home job, and they hired me when I was 8 months pregnant with our first child. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
And I was good
Oh,
all through
hey, how's
training.
it going? Somebody said, "Hey, Nash family, it's
Hey,
on. Is that on
hey,
YouTube? It's on. It's TikTok. Okay,
yeah,
hey,
what's
hey, hey."
going on? Um, and they hired me even though they knew I was 8 months pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
We about to have our baby, and they put so much pressure on me to make sure that after I had her, I had the we was that on a Friday that we went into labor?
It was a Thursday.
It was a Thursday, so I had to miss one day. Okay, I was off Saturday and Sunday because I was still in training. I had to show up Monday, or I would have lost my job. America has been narcissistic, and it forces the parents to be narcissistic. And if you are not narcissistic to your children, then they threaten your livelihood because I'm not going to pay you to care about your children. You need to throw them in daycare. I've been told that multiple times when I worked at any type of 9 to 5 job. Don't you remember that? Remember the one lady, she tried to make fun of me, saying, oh, well, she has all them kids and probably so many baby daddies.
You want to know what's funny? Did she have like about 5 kids
She
herself?
had 5 kids by 3 different men.
Hmm.
But because she wasn't even American, she was Canadian. And because she thought that American culture with black people meant that they had multiple baby daddies. This is a system that has been broken from the beginning. It's been broken. There is no fixing it. It just needs to be torn down and revamped. There is no love in the system. The system is all about fear, control, manipulation, and separation. But we continue the cycle of going through it because we are taught fear. I watched 3 commercials yesterday, and then I pointed out to you there was an ADT commercial. It preached fear. It was a Subaru commercial. The first thing it showed was fear. Even the cell phone commercial, it shows fear. They have been using fear to control what it is that we spend the money that they are paying us right back so they can get it right back. You can't tell me that in this day and age, nobody wants to have cable anymore because cable bills are just idiocracy. It's just idiocracy. So what they've done, they turned cell phone bills and car notes and housing into all of that. They said, no, you don't want to pay for this. Well, we're gonna make sure you pay for the phones. I seen, I watched. It is. I watch all these parents with their kids get on the bus every morning, and I see people that look kids. They too little to have a cell phone. But what do they have in their hand? But they ain't got no book bag on. They got a cell phone in their hand. They got a Starbucks. I don't know why they drink a Starbucks and why they got a cell phone. But if I go ask that mother why that second grader got a cell phone, she gonna say because it's too many school shootings and stuff, and I need to be able to contact. Fear. They have been using fear to control and manipulate Americans. Am I not right?
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, even the light commercial, which you consider light material. Let's say their sales are going on, right? Let's say
Mm-hmm.
it's like we'll just throw Macy's out there for example. People
Mm-hmm.
love Macy's, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've gotten actually a few of your purses from Macy's on a
Yeah.
cheap deal. So
Yeah.
there we go. But let's just say as a retailer, they use that like, hey, you can get this, and we got the sale going on, but don't miss out. You don't want to miss out on this, so they use what's called FOMO, fear of missing out.
Fear. Everything. The Subaru commercial that I saw yesterday, the first thing that they showed was a car accident. And they said, weren't you grateful that you had a Subaru so it can call 911? Because that car was totaled and you wouldn't have been able to call. Fear. People are so afraid of being left out. They are so afraid of not having. They are so afraid of not being able to keep up with everyone else that they will just hemorrhage money and keep doing the same cycle. At some point, we, the people who have the power, because if we stop spending the money and we used it for the resources that we need it for, to build communities for ourselves, to garden, so we don't have. This also pisses me off. I'm sorry, y'all. It just came back to my mind. There's a commercial talking about Roe. It's a fat loss shot. Okay. And I don't know about you, but I read all of the ingredients on the items that are in the store. And most of the items don't have real ingredients in them anymore. So you wanted to get me really obese because I'm just gonna say it. Fuck it. The pandemic was on purpose. It was on purpose. So you wanted to get us all fat by giving out extra money, extra money. Go get some food. 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 knowing that you put all of these harmful chemicals that was going to swell up the American people because we're not going nowhere because everybody got to stay 6 feet from each other. So you ain't doing nothing. You just eating. You in the house. Yeah. You eating stuff that ain't real. Everything contains a bioengineered food ingredient. Even the vegetables, you have to read the codes. If it starts with a 3, it's probably 6 to 8 months old. If it starts with a 4, you're likely to be eating something fresher. That's why when you buy strawberries from the grocery store, they go bad as soon as you get home because they have been had them in the store for months. You paid the farmers to stop farming so you can manufacture food and then sell us. Now get us all obese, right? And then you're going to push the businesses that you invested in, right? You're going to push gyms. And I don't know about you, but gym memberships are hard to get out of. You have to nuke your bank account. Oh my God. Now you're selling weight loss shots. And it pissed me off. I saw it again. And guess who was promoting? Serena Williams. When has she ever needed a shot? And see, that's the key. They get the people that they have been putting in your face and you trust and you amp up. Yeah, 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 girl. Yeah, we like her. We like her. And guess what she do? Because she needs some money. She don't care about you. She getting paid to advertise that, even though she ain't using it. Yes.
I don't know what that is. That's not the same as Serena Williams.
I don't know what it is either, but that is not here nor there. She didn't use no roll shot. You understand what I mean? Then we have these reality TV shows. I myself watched 1,000 Pounds Rubies. Okay, they got these two black influencers who are happy to get on TV. I support them. I watched the show because I wanted them to succeed. But they also caught them at a moment where they didn't even know how to monetize their pages. So now that the show is over, they didn't use them. Okay. Now, guess what's happening? They're starving. They're trying to find a way to stay relevant because they already been used. We got to stop being for sale, y'all. What you think, huh?
Yeah, Dale Gribble. I was just like I was just hearing it too because we've been watching that new King of the Hill.
Oh yeah, that's show been funny.
Right, and then like ever since the pandemic.
But it was so much that went wrong. But while that went wrong, I'm gonna tell you what went right. Okay, we got to rest. We just didn't eat right because nobody knew to see the indoctrination from slavery. It forced us. I can only talk about the black community because I'm black. Okay. That's the only community that I can focus on because I am a black person and I grew up in it. Okay. It forced us to trust what Mima taught mama and what mama taught us. Mima couldn't read. Mama barely could read because what came up in her generation was crack. Liquor stores on every corner. Ain't that what we had in the hood?
Dude, we still have liquor stores in the corner. What are you talking about?
No, they shut some of them down. But when we was growing up, they was like it was a Chinese restaurant and a liquor store on every corner in the hood when we was growing up. So if our people wasn't eating a whole box of grease, they was getting lit constantly, trying to escape life. And then what they also do with it, the music. People don't even realize what they are repeating in these lyrics. They're speaking over their life. My brother idolized. He was 8 years older than me and you. He idolized. What was the guy, the Colombian mafia guy, the movie? Scarface. He idolized Scarface so much, and Boys in the Hood, New Jack City, that he went out there and started to sell drugs too. Tried to be the biggest criminal lord, gang lord, because now they didn't have to put us in shackles. No, But if you get them here, oh, we ain't gotta work so hard. We'll make them think they thriving. What about you, honey? And then husbands don't listen.
What about me? What?
What you think
Oh, I mean,
about the entertainment industry? How they really infiltrated the black community?
I agree because like what's the thing that they all like a lot of thing a lot of our kids our black kids are always told, right? It's like your only way is out the hood is either you get a football basketball contract
Yeah,
or you got to rap or act. Basically you have to just be an entertainer, right?
yeah.
And listen,
Or you be a drug dealer.
right, all right, let's take drug dealing out for a second. Let's just go
Hmm.
to those other things. Okay, so now you got the kids like, okay, it's a different path. It's not drug dealing,
Yeah,
right? But now you got them on this thing of like, oh, okay, well, I could be a basketball player, or I could be, and for some of them, for some of these hoods, yeah, that is literally their only way out because a lot of these neighborhoods do be underprivileged or they're under,
man, they be starving.
right. So they have,
Powerful.
right. So they have no choice but to, you know, put their all into football or put that because they don't have time. They see what's around them, right? And just the fame and the fortune they see these players. Just think about what was the we were growing up in the '90s. Every commercial, I want to be like Mike, referring to Michael Jordan,
Man, and
Gatorade, all that
I
stuff, right?
still cannot stand Jordan's tennis shoes.
Right. We'll get to that. But
He said, "Let me finish. I'm gonna
right,
let you cook."
right, because you'll move me out the way when you cook and then ask me, what do you think, honey? I don't know, dear, because I had a point and you just kept going. But right, so you have all those things. Yeah, those are different options for kids, but now like you're giving them an unrealistic goal. Like
Yeah.
the statistic on this is this: like out of there's like hundreds of thousands of high school athletes,
Okay.
right? About only maybe 1 to 2% of those
Hmm.
go to college for
Okay.
sports. They get an athletic scholarship. Maybe half of them may get a full ride.
Okay.
So the rest of them, if they are on a scholarship, they still need extra financial aid to the point where they need student loans, which is another trap in of
Man, the
itself.
biggest lie.
Right. Or let's say they get that, they're able to make it to the NFL, right? It's even less than that.
Hmm.
Only 200 of them get actually drafted. Like they actually do the NFL draft and they get on and they hold up the jersey and they hug
Hmm.
the commissioner. They do all that.
Hmm.
Only a handful really get to do that. And even then, if they make it there, an average NFL career is only 2 to 3 years. If you,
And I knew a guy that got into. He went to my high school.
mhm,
He went to college. He got drafted. He got in the NFL. He only lasted a year.
yeah,
He only lasted a year, and all that hard work.
right. And then a lot of times there's nothing to show for it because some of these schools, right,
Hmm.
some of these programs, all they have to offer is like, hey, we got a great football program, we got a good basketball program. They're not pushing these kids to better themselves in reading and writing and math. So let's
Hmm.
say if they do wanted to go ahead and go into school and do something else, right,
Hmm.
besides sports, because all they have is sports.
Right.
So they end up being their bodies are broken and all they can do really is like take a regular job. Or
Right.
they haven't learned the skills of, okay, I get this money. How do I better manage it so it can last for a while?
I think all of us who are not the 1% do not know how to financially invest money because think about school. We are in this penitentiary style schooling. Okay. We go there. We got the principal who is what's the head? The warden. Then you got the teachers who are the guards, and you got to walk in a single file line, and you got to sit there and be quiet. You got to raise your hand and ask, "Can you go to the back?" We went to prison.
Yeah. But when they say you got a PS at 2 plus 2 is 4, you need a piece of paper to go take a dump.
And then the
And you,
bus. And then the bus. Don't forget about the bus.
hey, you know what's funny? This story about bus, right? Because I used to work for the Y. I did a youth program, and part of the program was arranging field trips and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And part of arranging field trips, of course, making sure we have a bus to go to said trip. Now, we're trying to go. We get the bus, and it's not like a regular yellow school bus. Like it's like tan colored. It look
It
a
was the
little
prison
right.
bus.
I swear, like I think inmates fit on this bus.
It was the prison bus. Oh, that's messed up.
I'm like,
But they don't even teach you about financial literacy because no, the same people who have been running the country, all they do is pass down the knowledge to their offspring and try to stay on top. They also control the curriculum.
right, because here's the curriculums, right? They want to make sure that you take quote unquote American history, which I'm gonna be honest, I don't even think that's a necessary class in school. If you really want to learn about American history, there's we got so many museums around that you can literally
They
go
just
to and
want to
learn that
control
stuff.
it's control, it's
Right?
manipulation,
You have
indoctrination.
you have National Geographic or not National or the History Channel. Like you
Mm-hmm.
have so many other avenues to really learn and to take in history. You don't. I don't need to go to school to learn about George Washington chopping down a cherry tree because number one, that's false. Right? To say that he could not tell a lie, like he was a big liar.
Right. Who said that man could tell no lie?
Right. If let me see, you became president. You were the first president. Oh, you was the first big liar.
Oh man, you lie like a bug.
Right. So
But literally the whole construct of going to school was to get the parents to go to work. And while the parents are working, teach your children how to be on the clock too. There's no listen. Once we stopped taking our kids to in-person school, we started to pay attention that the kids literally will log in for class at 9 and they're done by 1 o'clock. Correct?
yeah, or sometimes earlier.
Sometimes earlier. Literally, the whole idea of in person school is just to indoctrinate your child to learn how to go to work.
And let's be honest, right? Even though there are key things from school that you can learn, like socialization and all that stuff. One, I feel like when they try to when we say, hey, we do our kids homeschool, right?
Mm-hmm.
They'll try to say, well, what about socialization? Kids need socialization. Okay, you're overvaluing socialization. Number one. Number two, like let's just go ahead and say what it is. When you're going into schools, like it literally is. Sometimes it's a reminder for some kids of stuff that they don't have compared to the people that have stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because now, like, you already feel when you go into school, you already feel a certain type of way. It's like, man, I don't have the best shoes, I ain't got the best clothes, right? You just trying to get through the day without somebody mentioning it. And then you got kids coming up because let's be honest, kids don't know no better. Kids are cruel, can be cruel.
Because their parents are cruel.
Right. So now they're like, huh, look at him. You have on fake Nikes, or oh look at this, like you
Yeah.
can't even afford this. So now like not only are you already saying this in your head, now you're hearing it out loud. So all throughout your
It
day,
goes with lowering your self esteem.
right? And then you get out of school, you come home, right? Your parents get home, and guess
They
what?
tired.
They tired. They had a bad day. Their boss is probably yelling at them, talking about, "Oh, your performance is suffering. If you don't pick it up, you're gonna get fired."
Right.
Right. So now you have this
Fear.
threat of
Fear.
right now you have this threat of losing or fear of losing your job
Mm-hmm.
on your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So as a parent, and then you really can't take no more, and then you start snapping at your kid.
Yep. Now, all the parents that do, because I had one lady, she was so upset with me over renewing them because we did homeschooling last year and it was really great. And I was like, our oldest daughter is she's in high school now, her freshman year. And she was like, you're going to do that to her? You're going to take away her socialization? Okay, so is it important for little baby to socialize and get in trouble? Because I'm pretty sure every time you talk to the teacher say your child talk in class and play too much with her friends and needs to focus. And then you put your child on punishment or you yell at them for talking too much and
Or
not focusing on their studies. So
or
is that important or is it the studies?
or you hitting them.
That.
That be that part too. In addition to the punishment and criticizing and telling them they need to pay attention, you also hitting them upside their head
Or
because
pinch. My mom used to pinch and turn our skin until my arm turned red.
hey, listen, I'm not saying that this needs to happen or this should happen, right? But some of those parents that did stuff like that, if a kid just couldn't take it no more and decided to swing on them, I mean, they wouldn't technically be in the wrong.
Yeah, but
We
the
can't promote. Well, I'm not promoting that.
the indoctrination of it is that the parents is right and the child is always wrong. I'm big, you're small. You
Yeah,
understand?
Matilda.
Yeah. And it's such a skewed way of really connecting. It's so disconnected. It's really disconnected. So it really comes down to it. When your parents go to work and their boss is mistreating them same parents will come home and start to mistreat their children. And then the mistreated children will go out to school and start mistreating other children. It is a indoctrinated system that really comes from America. And at some point, we all have the power to choose to not to continue to repeat it. We always have the power to choose not to continue to repeat it.
Now there is now people that be watching this, there may be a rebuttal, right? Um, oh my God, Tommy, shut up.
It's another dog walking past. It's gonna bark.
Never mind. So there's always a rebuttal where it's not always like that. Maybe your kids are just soft, right? I always want to throw
Oh
that
my
S word around,
gosh.
soft, like, and it's like, okay, so what is the alternative then? Since you're saying like the way they could think or the ideas that we're coming up with could be wrong, what is an alternative?
But there's nothing wrong with being soft. See, that's also a part of the indoctrination. We all need to be in masculine energy all the time and hustle and never rest. Soft is okay. Once you rest, you are able to think. You are able to really think about the decisions that you want to make over your life. If you are always on the go, we had one guy that we walked past him and he say, I can sleep when I'm dead. I ain't got time to sleep. And that is a really terrible thing to speak of your life. That is terrible. Because if you don't rest while you get the privilege to be in this human experience, you will never be able to think. You're always going to do what you are told to do. You're never going to be able to break the cycles because you never rest. You never are soft. There are so many single women because they were forced to be masculine. I'm going to tell you one big trap for the black community because, again, I'm black. Welfare. Welfare. If you keep the man out the home, we'll give you these benefits. You can get food stamps, you can get TANF, you can get Medicare. Is it Medicaid or Medicare?
Medicaid.
You get Medicaid, but that man can't be in the house. So now we have single mothers raising all these kids by themselves, overstimulated, dependent. They don't even know how to buy food for themselves. They don't. My cousin cried. She cried because she got kicked off of Section 8 and she had never paid rent before. It's a dependent system on purpose. Every man that she ever had, she emasculated because she knew she wanted to push him away. It was a system put in place because, during the family stay together. During the family actually take care of their own children instead of sending them to in-person penitentiary. During the family grow their own fresh fruits and vegetables if we teach them how to farm. I didn't see farming 101 or in college or in high school. Did you?
No, those options. Now they might have on agriculture. I don't know. I'm just saying from like we never knew that as being an option.
My mom and dad didn't know anything about farming. They only know how to be a consumer. They get paid from the bank. They get money from that bank and give it right back to the bank. It's a cycle. It is not anything. else but a cycle. They don't know how to grow their own food. They don't even read ingredients because they've been programmed off of commercials that we've seen in the 80s and the 90s of Lay's, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, all of these things, Doritos.
I will say this though, simply Doritos. Like man, simply Doritos. Oh my god, mwah.
He does like
Them
those.
simply Doritos are good, bro.
I had to
Them
laugh at you
simply
for a minute.
Doritos, man. Like I wanted some simply Doritos the other day. I was like, I'm gonna
Mm,
get them later, but they're
mm.
good. I ain't
But
keep them
but
away from the kids.
this is what has been a big issue in this country now. Rent is astronomical. Like it's literally not affordable to have a roof, a shelter over your head. And then if you go without, if you decide I'm just gonna live in my car, now they have fees and they try to tow your car.
You wanna know? I should share this with you. I was looking at something, man. It said now, in order for you to have to afford the median home,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like whatever the median price home is, you have to make at least 118K per year.
Yep.
So it literally said home ownership is now a luxury. So instead of, oh my God, Tommy, shut up.
But are you
Instead of,
surprised?
no, I'm not surprised. So instead of just because people say, well, don't rent, go the home ownership route, right? Okay. The whole home buying process is so unnecessarily complicated.
It's
We
so
we we
exhausting.
went through it ourselves, and we almost closed on a house until we had the house. We had to pay for an inspection, $600 that went down the drain for this guy to kind of just scan this house with a drone and look at this sewer.
And give us a stack of paper.
Right, and to tell us that yeah, this house is no good as far as like the
The
sewer,
sewer.
the sewer. So we had spent so much time and energy and emotion into it, right? Because we're thinking because that was a goal of ours. Like a lot
We were
of right,
indoctrinated.
a lot of American families that are taught like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
you have the kids, you have the family, you got the job. Now it's time to go ahead and get the house and you can be
Yep.
homeowners and it's going to bring you so much and everything, right? And then they don't necessarily tell you the time, the energy, and everything it takes. Because first they want to sit up and tell you, all right, you want to own a house, well, guess what? Your credit ain't no good.
And credit is the biggest scam.
It
Because
is.
how can you tell me that I'm not credit worthy this when you are billions and trillions dollars in debt
Hey man,
to these four men?
hold up, time out. That was my thing I was gonna say.
Oh well, go ahead.
No, too late now. You already said it. Take your word off
Oh no, it's okay. Don't do
that camera. Just
that. I got it clipped in.
but anyways, yeah, like I said, they like you're saying that my credit is terrible and I'm not credit worthy enough for you to lend me money. Like you said, but you're trillions of dollars in debt. Like that is the pot calling the kettle black if I've ever
Oh
seen that. That is the
man,
biggest example of that. Like this whole world is like this country is trillions of dollars in debt, but you want to sit up here and tell me that I am not worthy enough to get credit from you. Well, excuse you, you dare have the
did you
audacity
did you
and
just
the
did you just did you
unmitigated
just do this?
gall to say that I am not credit worthy and you trillions of dollars in debt. My couple of $100 loans compared to your trillions
I
of
laughing at
dollars
you.
don't mean shit. And I'm sorry for cussing on TikTok if it gets us taken down. But I needed to say that because there's so much energy and stuff that goes into getting out. So all right, so fine. We go through credit repair to get our
Man,
credit score to at least look good enough so they can feel secure enough into wanting to give you a loan, right? But then even with the loan, and then you get they say
you
you
get that
qualify for this
pre-approval.
loan, right? You
Yeah.
get the pre-approval, you qualify for this loan. Like okay, now you need money for a down payment, so you got to find a program that's willing to do that for you, or they tell you, well, you can borrow from your family.
What?
Like, listen, nothing against my family. Some
What?
of them, I like y'all. Very few, I love you. But if I could be honest, some families just ain't shit. And excuse me, I apologize for cussing, but I'm gonna say it how it is. Some of these families are not going. Some families are just not going to
And
do that for you. Like they barely
they,
want to give you $20 for gas. So what you think
man,
they're gonna give you two, three, $4,000 to put towards a down payment?
man, we was homeless. And we had people living with us that paid nothing, that acted like it was gonna kill them to let us stay there for a couple of nights. So,
They was talking
bro,
about my bills gonna get high. My bills were high for the months you lived
for
there.
years.
For the time you lived there,
Oh,
like you did not put in not one red cent on a dime, and you dared us to complain.
ooh,
Now we live in your place. One day there, now you complaining about your water bill. Go kick rocks
oh man,
with
baby.
baby feet.
Oh man, in the middle of the street.
Like Nick, you baby feet.
Oh,
That's literally
100% correct, man. Like the home buying process was already exhausting before all of the changes.
right. And then we tried to do it while still in the pandemic, so it could have just been bad timing on us
No,
anyway.
it just
But
it sucks.
it sucked, man. And then and the realtor we had, and and he's a nice guy and everything. I'm just gonna be honest. He gave us some bad information because he was trying to get us a house in the hood, talking about some. It's really
The
coming up in
neighborhood
this
is
neighborhood.
changing.
Like we got these college professors and everything staying. And I'm like, listen, I don't know where you're getting your information from, but I used to live just a couple
Right
of
down the
blocks away from
street.
here. I'm gonna tell you this right now. This is not gonna
This
get no better.
neighborhood been bad forever. You know, I'm almost 40. I ain't seen it turn good yet.
Right, man.
Gee, where's Golly Wash Bosh?
Right.
Okay.
So I don't know where you got this information from. I don't know, maybe a Google reviewer, but
uh-uh.
I'm just gonna tell you this
Not a
right
Google
now.
reviewer.
But I'm just gonna tell you this right now from experience because I used to live around here. I used to walk these streets.
Like, hey
Okay, I had
man.
a lady proposition herself to me for in exchange for a rally burger and change in my pocket. Okay,
You did?
that's I'll tell you that story. Okay, she
She
propositioned
said for the change in your pocket and the
and a
rally
rally burger.
burger.
She was gonna let me have her way with her for a
Oh,
change pocket rally burger. And I
oh,
declined it, of course, but that just lets you know this is the type of neighborhood that I'm living in. You
oh
cannot
my
convince me
gosh.
otherwise that this is
Oh my gosh.
prime real
What?
estate.
A rally burger and the change in your pocket. Shoot. I can't even get past that.
I couldn't either. It took me a minute even after I still can't get past it to this day. That was 20 years ago.
Man. That's so terrible. But like literally, even when we went and bought a car, when we because we needed it. Nobody was willing to give us rides when we was homeless. We lost our car and our home on the same day. We had a U-Haul truck, but we had to turn it in. And we still needed to be able to get around. We was trying to find a place to go. And the person that did let us stay in their empty condo that they don't even live in because they live in a different state, but they got one here, you know. They said we could stay there for 30 days, but then as soon as we get there, everything start changing. The dates get shorter and shorter. So we still got to get around. Asking the people that you came from just to take you somewhere was like pulling teeth.
Granted, when they ask us stuff, right? Hey, could you come by and help me with this? Yeah, sure. Can you hang up this TV? Sure, no problem. Can you? Oh, we had something
Thank you
happen.
for the follow. Oh, thank you for liking the live Antoine Bolton on Facebook.
Hey, appreciate it. But yeah, so all that stuff happens, right? But yet, all right. So now it's time for us. We kind of we're in need,
Right. We
and
we
it's like
can't give to nobody. We didn't gave all we can give.
right. So
Now we
soon
need help.
all right, we need help. Like, hey, we just need to ride. No, we need ride around because we still got to be parents. We still have to take our kids to school.
Yeah.
We still got to do life stuff, and that's the one thing that people didn't
They
understand
forget
about.
about homeless people that they still may have to go or they may need to get around. They might have children and the children might be in school and you can't just always just scream at them, well, do better, go get a job, pull yourself up by your bootstrap.
Bro, I was gonna do that whole thing. Like, you just steady just putting me on spot, bro. Maybe I should get on here and start putting on a wig and everything and
Ah!
start stealing your stick. Maybe you wouldn't like it then, would you?
I think that would make great content. But when you have to go through not having a shelter, it is 10 times harder. First off, it's hard to keep up with your important documents. I don't know if you ever seen a homeless person that look like they have their social security card, their ID,
And
or
their
their
birth
birth certificate.
certificate.
because it's very difficult to keep up with personal information that you're going to need for a job. Okay. Second thing, it is very hard for a homeless person to make sure that their ass is clean. They can't come to work and smell like,
Booty.
outside. Okay. So when people make blanket statements like, let's pull ourselves up by the bootstrap, it's really so insensitive and it lacks empathy and compassion because everybody is just one paycheck away from having to experience the exact same thing. They want you to not care about the people on the streets because they want you to be in fear of you being like that. Fear is a part of manipulation and control of the system. Okay? Fear, everything. You will have a I see so many people with in the community that we live in, they have so many ring cameras. We all, it's a townhome community. All of our houses made the same, bro. You ain't got nothing in there that I want.
We might even have the same stuff. I mean,
Like, literally, it's the fear. It's fear. Everything that you spend your money on is all about fear. It's a fear of, if you are into material things, it's a fear of people thinking that you can't afford it. When we were homeless and I would get on there and I would tell people about what we experienced, people would literally come in the comment section and say, get your money up. You just sound like a bum.
you know what? What's funny? Well, not funny, but you know what? Ever since we did go through that, like I I I can say
Exactly.
personally, I had empathy for homeless people
Mm-hmm.
because it's difficult.
Yeah.
But then after going through the journey ourselves, now granted, we were fortunate enough to never have to sleep in a car or stay out on the streets or anything. We never had to deal with that, and there were some people that really did care and helped us out, gave us money so we could, when we were running low, to stay in an Airbnb for
We
a week
had,
while we tried. So
it
we
was
had
people that we didn't even know. It was people off TikTok that would just send me money and say, hey, if this is for y'all to get something to eat today.
right, and especially because I'm still trying to work. So before we had went homeless, I had like a job. They allowed me to work from home. I was doing my job and everything, right?
It's
Um,
so insensitive.
Now that we don't have a home, so okay, well, it's
So
gonna
how,
be hard for me to work from home.
okay.
I'm literally lugging this work equipment around to everywhere we go. So I had to go back to the office.
Mm-hmm.
So while all this going on, like now I have to go back and forth out to the office, and I'm working 10-hour shifts. So
Yeah.
I'm doing 10-hour shifts, and when I get done, like instead of being like, okay, I can go home, no, I have to go to this vacation rental that we only probably have like one more day, or I have to
Or
go to a hotel
hotel.
or
Yep.
an extended stay, which
Oh, them are the
extended
worst.
stays
Lord.
are depressing, man.
They so
Like
sad.
like I have to go and look at that and then be up and do it all again the next day.
Yeah, and
Like
and
that's
trying to make sure that his wife's mental is okay.
right. That's how the Lord works in His name. Those you don't know will help before our families.
Oh my gosh, our families felt like our need was, that's our own problem.
I'm gonna say this. There was a point in time. We had to travel out of our town,
Hmm.
and we went out of town. We were actually in the same state, in the town my dad lives in.
Hmm.
And I told him like, hey, Dad, like, we out of town. We kind of dealing with our homeless thing right now. One thing he was concerned about is like, one, why y'all saying that all on Facebook? I don't like that on Facebook.
And I literally told him, I said, because it's the truth, and if you don't like it, do something about it.
So then he's looking at our shoes.
Yes.
He
Look, my feet, all of our kids' feet. We got 4 children. Looked at his feet and said, "Well, y'all got nice shoes on." So you mean to tell me that because I lost my home, I should look like a bum?
and you want to know what's funny about that? Like we didn't even have new shoes for real. We just
We took
kept
care
we
of them.
took care of our stuff. We wasn't new shoes. Like we have 4 kids. Like we probably get new shoes as far as
Once a
adults
year.
once a year, if anything. So it's like we really gotta take care of these shoes, right? So and then he's like, well, listen, whatever y'all like, I tell you what, whatever y'all need, y'all street, I'll help. I'll do this. I'll do that. I'll even get out alone if we need to, right? So lend us some money to help us, stay off the streets for a little bit, right? So now here it is. We're coming. We had traveled to Kansas because it was the cheapest place to get a hotel,
Yeah.
right? We're coming back. It's like, okay, our hotel stay is over. We have to come back since I still had to be at work. Kids still got to be at school.
Hmm.
So it's like, okay. So I asked my dad, like, hey, like, listen, we're coming back. We're coming back from out of town. Listen, we still need some help. He's like, no, I just helped y'all. Like, what,
That's
like,
too
that's
much
too
help.
much help. Like, I got my own stuff to deal with, right? And I had to tell him, like, look, I don't ask you for anything. Like, as a man, like, I'm gonna tell you this, just to give you a little background. Me and my dad, we don't have the best relationship at all.
Hmm.
Because number one, he wasn't really around that much. I just know him because, he came by to visit a couple times, but what we bring up, liquor and alcohol,
Hmm.
right, really mess with them. Plus,
Yeah.
among other things that
Yeah.
I won't get into right now.
Hmm.
But among other things, it wasn't necessarily a very positive conversation.
Right.
He essentially blamed me, talking about how could you let this happen? Oh, and the line that really pissed me off is like, you shouldn't have had all those kids if
Ooh.
you can't take care of them. Like at that
Ooh.
moment,
You want to know how many times we heard that?
like at that moment when he said that, and we were like still like an hour away, so like the whole drive, like I sat and I just stood quiet. And it's like I really need to restrain myself because he still was going to go ahead and give us the money for what we needed, and I still appreciated doing it because he didn't have to do that, right? I still appreciate that that did because that helped keep us off the street. We didn't have to sleep in the car. We still was able to keep a short term roof over our head
Yep.
because when you're homeless and you don't have anywhere where you can stay stationary,
Yeah.
it's hard to save up and build up money to get you another place.
It's so expensive. The just to apply, the application fees are 35 and up. And they want both of us, even if I'm not the one that works full time, he does. They want both of us to pay that fee. And they get to keep it even if they deny you.
Right, which I still feel like that's crazy. Listen, if I'm not living in your place, give me my money back. Right, that's just I don't want to hear nothing about we told you up front it's not from. No, fuck that. I want my money back. I'm not living here. You give it back to me. I don't have time to keep giving money to everybody just to apply. But again, going back to the whole thing, so I did get the money from my dad. He handed me the check to go ahead do whatever we needed to do. And that was a very short visit because it took a lot of strength for me not to haul off and just punch him in the mouth right then and there. And if he's watching that, I hope he does hear it and understand that the way that you talk to me and the stuff that you said that to me, that really hurt. And you have a
Yeah.
lot of nerve to say what you said to me, knowing what I know about you. But again, that's another story and another subject for another time.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is this: when you're dealing with people that are homeless, you really got to have more empathy. Stop looking at them like, oh, they're just bums. They're just you're an able-bodied person. I don't see how that could happen. Like, check yourself
Yeah.
because at any moment it can be you, and
Yeah.
you need to be careful on what you say and how you treat people
Yeah.
because if that's you on that end and now you're looking for help all those nasty and mean things that you used to say, guess what? Now you're at the end of it,
Yeah.
and it doesn't feel good. When you have to look at that mirror and look at that reflection, and that's going to be something real ugly that you're going to immediately turn away from. But no, you need to stare at that
Yeah.
because that
That
is
was you.
that was you,
Yeah.
and now that you're getting it back, and it doesn't feel good.
Yeah. And it's not gonna feel good. I really the biggest lesson that I took from our homeless journey is that all people are valuable. It does not matter how much money, status, or access they have. They are all valuable because without money, without access, and without status, I mean, what would be the point? If we didn't give any of that value and we only valued human life, guess what would be important? People. But no, you've been indoctrinated. You've been taught, oh, you only need to be, them people are only valuable because they net worth is 14 million. We need to care about them. No.
Oh, I'm
People are valuable because this human experience was about connecting, experiencing something other than just being a floated spirit around the earth. This human experience was not meant to be obtained and controlled and manipulated. It was meant to be enjoyed, celebrated, love, compassion, empathy, joy. But we are so controlled under the premise of all the negativity. The negativity has its claws in us. And why? Because we allow it. I went live earlier and I talked about my mother wounds. And having a narcissistic mother is not an easy thing to talk about, and it's not an easy thing to deal with. But during my life, I had to be honest. I had to be honest and hold myself accountable because I allowed it to go on for 38 years. Me. I had the power to change it. Confirmation. I had the power to change it. But did I? No, because I was in fear. I was manipulated with Bible verses. I was hit all the time, physical abuse. I was starved of emotional love until my supplier needed love from me. It was my fault too. I hold myself accountable for that. If we all hold ourselves accountable for the things that we don't want people to know, the things that we put mask on so people don't see, stop hiding. There is no shame. You fall down, you get up. I had no shame to share that we was homeless. You know why? Because trouble doesn't last always. Facts embedded within us and the world. It's been a horrible road with humanity. And it's not serving anymore. It's not serving. It is making people so young, so depressed. I see it all the time. I get on TikTok and it'd be a 21-year-old going viral for screaming that they just don't want to be here anymore. And it should not take them to go viral from saying that they want to be unalived. But we have been conditioned to only see negative, only react to negative. We don't want nothing positive. I do positive content all the time. I have to work so hard to be seen. Today I ain't feel like working hard to be seen. I said I'm just gonna tell the truth. And I see my relatives watching. I see my relatives watching because they can't believe that I'm being open about the secrets in our family. I'm tired of holding everybody else's secret. It's not my job. My truth is my job. I'm sorry, honey. You go ahead. I had to get that off my chest.
no, you good. You good. Yeah. So understand though, this whole thing. This is to bash anybody or anything like that. But however, it is a moment to just to say, listen. Growing up, there was lack of accountability on
It's still
and,
going on.
and it still is, and instead of and then when we try to address it, instead of respecting or listening to what we have to say, it's being overtalked,
Mm-hmm.
it's being belittled,
Mm-hmm.
it's being threatened. It's all these different things, but actually addressing the issue. I had a conversation of one of my I'd say it was my aunt who raised me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just let you know, my mom and dad didn't raise me. I had my grandmother, my aunt, my uncle, my dad's brother, and sister. They raised me, took care of me.
Mm-hmm.
Now I always acknowledge it, even when I told her this, like, yeah, it's like she's not my mother, she is my aunt, but she is the one that's responsible and took care of me.
Mm-hmm.
But because I'm not putting her up on the pedestal of saying, "Oh, that's your mom, that's my mom,"
Mm-hmm.
right? I get a lot of flack and backlash. But the reason I don't put her up on that pedestal is because I had to deal with a lot of abuse from her, whether it be physical abuse, and when I got too big for the physical abuse, now it was just mental and emotional,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, and a lot of times I couldn't take it. It would be to the point so I'll have outbursts I wouldn't take it anymore. I couldn't deal with it. So yeah, I would lash out and I would say things to her. Some
Mm-hmm.
things am I proud of? No, but some things were the truth. Okay, so I remember it was about a couple years back. It was actually on my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
We were kind of trying to reconnect a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided I want to go ahead and open it up a little bit. Say, hey, look, listen, any part and any confusion, between us or any issues that between us from my part, and I apologize.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to make it work because, I'm trying to, build a village around our kids and everything,
Yeah.
right? That was an opportunity for us to really kind of clear the air and be like, hey, listen, understand, there were some things between us. Let's go ahead and start this fresh because, I don't want to miss out on it. No, I didn't get none of that. It's
Mm-hmm.
basically just blaming like, well, there were a lot of times you just stepped on my heart and you
Mm-hmm.
said this to me and you said that to me. So it's like basically you're throwing the blame at me instead of really just saying, hey, you know what? I'm sorry for my part of it too. Let's go ahead and start fresh. No, it's like continuing. So at that point, it's like, you know what?
There's no
There's
accountability.
no accountability. Like I'm not going to keep doing this with you.
No.
I refuse. I would rather just go ahead and just let it be me, my wife, and my kids by ourselves
Yeah.
than to bring in a person who doesn't want to take any accountability or want to build with me. If you don't want to do that, listen, I'll just leave you where you're at and I'm fine not talking to you.
And
And
you know what? I think you and I would try so hard to mend fences because we see our peers having a whole village. Anytime you get with someone and you get married, you have children, you imagine that your children is going to be supported by grandparents and
you
hopefully if they still alive, great grandparents and
because here's the thing when two people marry, it ain't just a marriage between the two people. It's a merging of families,
yeah.
right? You're basically bringing families together. We're supposed to be that, but for some reason, because you know we have families that I'm just gonna say it that are petty,
Yeah.
that have
Yeah.
some sort of weird jealousy or
Yeah.
whatever it is in their mind. It that that marriage doesn't even happen. Let's see.
Hello,
Howard.
cousin. I love you guys. Peace and
And blessings
blessings to
to
you.
you.
You too,
Howard. All right.
Howard.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah, so it was supposed to be this beautiful dynamic, right? Now you feel like, you're on an island. It feels like I'm on an island by myself. And sometimes it feels like it's us against them.
Yeah. I mean, that's because you and I were the black sheep. So if you have never been a black sheep in your family, you probably won't get what we're talking about. We were the black sheep. We were the ones that were the generational curse breakers. Literally, I saw the pattern in my family and I was like, no, this don't make any sense. Mother had a baby at 16, dropped out of school. Brother did the same thing, even though, he's my half brother, is my mom's son. Did the same thing. My dad had a baby at 12, didn't dropped out of middle school. That didn't make any sense to me. So I just chose not to follow the pattern. But because I chose not to follow it, I'm thinking this would make my parents happy, right? No. You think you better than everybody else.
You know what? When they when people say that to you, right? That's the one thing. Like you never want to put your. Oh, I don't ever want to put myself up as better than anybody. But at some point, like when people say that, I had that urge to like, you know what? Yeah, I am better than you.
But my thing is, ain't that the goal? Y'all got tripped up. It's like if we playing a game. This is simulation. Okay? You started this simulation. Well, great grandma started this simulation. She didn't get past being a slave. Okay? Then she had a child. Now, grandmother She got out of slavery, but her mental all messed up. Okay. So she's abusing her own kids. And I mean abuse. Like the way that my mother talks about how her great grandmother who raised her used to beat her with what's the cast iron skillets and stuff. That was abuse. Okay. So now she's so messed up from slavery, she's beating on her children, her great grandchildren. So that is, it's it can't, okay, right? Now, now I got my mother who she made it. She ain't in slavery, but she got hit up the head upside the head by a cruel person because this person had to deal with slavery. Okay, so now she got me. And instead of being able to celebrate me getting past all of this mess, you're jealous of me. You don't like me. You're constantly beating me. You're manipulative. You're controlling. You're overbearing. And you all you do is want to take. And I give because I'm a child. It's hello. Hey Jennifer. She said I definitely want my daughter to be better than me. Facts. Yes. That is the
I
goal.
mean, let's just put it like this: you want your kids, so that's how a family grows, generation after generation. You want you have the first family member. They set up, how shop or however they want to. Then the kids come along. There's a foundation. Now they're building off that. They
Yeah.
have kids. Guess what? They're building off that. It's supposed to progress. We're not supposed to be holding people back, but for whatever reason, you get this weird thought in your head that that's what you're supposed to do. That all of a sudden, oh, they think they're doing better than me. You know what? Yeah, they're doing better. They're supposed to. You're like 70 something years old. Sit down somewhere and let them cook.
And it's such a sad mentality. It's sad because if you see your child and you say to them, "You think you better than me," you can't love them because you don't even love yourself. You don't even like yourself because you dislike them and they are you and you are them. That I need y'all to understand that don't make any sense. So a lot of the times we we have to do this parenting thing. Oh, we got a new follower.
Hey,
Oh, new like. All right, Angel, Emmanuel. Thank you so much on Facebook for liking the podcast. Facts. We had to set boundaries, and when we went homeless, everybody ran from us anyway because we had nothing to give. We needed help, and it was their turn to give after they'd been taken. My mom lived with us our entire relationship, and each place that she lived with us at, I had to ask her to leave for jumping on me in front of my husband and my children. I ain't talking about slapping me. I'm talking about punching me and calling me every name under the sun that you shouldn't call a daughter. And that didn't just start there. No. I'm gonna tell y'all the story. Can I tell them the story real quick? I know you ain't talked in a minute, but I want to tell them the story.
hold on, wait. I want to now notice how I let her cook and I don't steal her stick. But go ahead.
When I was when I graduated high school, none of my family did that. I was the first one to do that. Nobody really thought about college for me. I had to think about it for myself. So I got accepted into Georgetown on a full ride scholarship, but it was so far away from home, so I didn't go. It was a journalistic scholarship. Y'all talking good tonight. Thanks for sharing. God bless you and keep you, and may peace be with you in Jesus' mighty name. Oh, thank you so much, Angel. And I went to this like non-traditional type college because they guaranteed you job placement. And when I went through that, they got me a job. I majored in paralegal studies with a minor in legal administrative assistant. So I got a job at a law firm. Then everybody in my family loves me because I'm making more money than everybody has ever seen. And now I'm an ATM. Okay. You come ask me for $500, I got it. And I didn't know any better because for once they were nice to me. Um, and it was something that I truly always wanted. Okay, so my parents get evicted because they had a gambling addiction from this house that we lived in the hood after we was homeless. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and get this single family house out in the county in my name, do that. And my mother and my father, after 38 years of being together, decided that they wanted to part ways. My mom was cheating on him with a guy that was 5 years older than me. And she wanted him to leave the house. And then my dad was like, I'll just leave. I was like, okay, but this is my house. I pay all the bills. It's in my name. I should have some say so. He leaves, and the next day she moves this guy in my house. And he was the most disrespectful. He would kick the door and it would hit the wall and put a hole in the wall, blast music, drink, everything in my home. And so I said, I don't want him here. And she jumped on me. Now, my mother and father were the only ones living in this home. My uncle, my mother's brother, her oldest brother, lived there with us rent free. And my great uncle, my mother's uncle, lived there rent free too. They pull her off of me because she's on top of me, wailing on me, calling me all type of names. And the guy who's 5 years older than me that she's dated and moved in my house, he's laughing. They pull her off of me and she yelled. She was being disrespectful. And they turned all of their energy towards me to tell me how wrong I was for trying to set a boundary and tell my mother I didn't want him to stay in my home. That's when most of the abuse started. And I was 21 years old. 21. And it only got worse from there. So listen, if you're watching this live and you have an unhealthy, narcissistic parent, I want you to understand that that is not normal. And it will not change until you change it.
Or headbutt them in the nose. That can change some things too. I'll get them to stop. Just bam, right there.
Don't
Right,
headbutt
right
them in the
there.
nose.
Yep.
Don't stoop low.
No, no, forget the talk. We go low, we go high. Listen, I tried that. You know what? If we're gonna go ahead and
It
just get
is.
it, we're gonna get into the mud. We're gonna have us a good old fashioned mud fight because you don't want to get in the mud with me.
And this continued for 11 years with this guy that my mom was dating. And my father, I wanted him to be available for me, and he just wasn't. So I got lost for 2 years. My whole life went down in the dumps. But I'm really grateful to find myself. It's a lot to be able to open up, and I'm going to start opening up more because I touch and agree with you, my brother. How are you funny? I
I
feel
always
like
got the right idea.
I feel like I'm done protecting somebody else's secret. I already know because like I said, I've been seeing my cousins watching my posts. I saw a cousin watching the live. They didn't say nothing, but I could TikTok tell you who watching. I already know this is going to get back to my mother, and it's my truth. They know it. For many years, none of the family would ever deal with her because if there was a party and we got invited to it, somehow there will always be an argument and a fist fight that involved my mother or my brother with another relative. It was constant. And then we wouldn't get invited anywhere for a while. But this is a course of action that has been passed down though. At some point it has to stop. I said it stopped with me. It stops with me. I'm not cruel to my children. Nope. I don't choose money over my children. Nope. I don't choose to scream at them and yell at them and say, do as I say, not as I do. Nope. I don't beat them. I allow them to set boundaries with me so they can understand how to set boundaries with others. Don't you think that's important?
Basically, we have to teach our kids how to be people,
Yeah.
how to be something like, and
Yeah.
let's just be honest. Like, there's a time for there's a difference between discipline and just abuse.
Yeah.
And a lot of those times, the line with when it came to that raising, the line was either so thin or there was just no line at all.
Right.
So now it's like, we have to parent differently. And I can say this: people who have interacted with our kids and talked with our kids. We're talking about teachers, coaches for our sons, doing sports and everything, or just people out and about. I would say, hey, y'all have some really respectful children. You guys have such
Hmm.
great children. Like, I don't have any problem with them, anything like that. That comes from the fact that we're teaching them how to be respectable people
Yeah.
and to understand and raising them around something different. They're not these kids that
Mm-mm.
feel like they have to walk on eggshells and everything
Yeah.
because they feel like they can't express themselves or
Yeah.
say something or they feel like if they do something wrong they're gonna or they do something wrong they're gonna get yelled at.
Yeah. Howard says, you have had to endure all this hell because you are a chosen one. And the world hates us, but you are being prepared for greatness. I appreciate that.
Right.
God
So
bless you, cousin.
right, and people say like, and here's the thing: they say these things about our kids, and guess what? We're not. Now we discipline, we let them know, and we hold them accountable. I'll tell the boys, and even our daughter, quick, like, hey, listen, you messing
Excuse me.
up on that, like,
Yeah.
and we have to fix that. And it's not, and there's no embarrassment there. We don't do. Here's a prime example. Let's say you bring home bad grades, right?
Yeah.
First, you first thing you do, first parent to find out you got a bad grade, they beating on
They
you. They
gonna
waiting
hit
for
you
it, right. Then they waiting on the next parent to get off of work to come home,
to
and then
hit you
they
again.
beating on you,
Yeah.
and then they taking away all your stuff,
Yeah.
and then while you trying to do your class, they constantly yelling at you. Then they tell the other family members that you getting a bad
So now
grade.
you go to church or you go to a function, now everybody, it's just so
Everybody's
much.
right, and here's the
And
thing.
it is because we're chosen.
Right. Now, here's the thing with that, because you said that you had to protect secrets, right?
Yeah.
Now, I gave all that example. Now, they want you to protect their secrets, but they would never dare protect you
Nope.
or keep anything in house
Nope.
because guess what? Those types of things are
Hmm.
what's supposed to be in house. Kid got a bad grade. I'll tell you what. Here's what we're going to do. Instead of just saying, you dummy, stop playing the game, it's like, all right, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. Let's spend some extra time on this work so we can get you back up. So that means you're going to have to not spend so much time on the game or you're not gonna have much time on the TV because we got to catch up.
But see, we talking about the people that raised us that did not. I can't talk about your people because your people were college educated. My people, I surpassed them. My dad had a sixth grade no fifth grade education because he didn't even go to sixth grade. He just decided he wasn't gonna go to school. My mom was a glorified reclassified freshman. I'm talking about people who lacked education.
Right. Okay. Now the flip side of that, right? Now here's the thing. Now when it came to school, now I'm not gonna sit here and say I was like the best student because I'm gonna be honest, I felt like school at times was a waste of time. I wasn't like no dummy or anything like that, or I'm just like flunking classes and nothing.
Hmm.
I still made decent enough grades, but when you live in where they pressure you like, oh, you this needs to be better. This why you bringing home C's or why you bringing home this. Like, well, I'm
No.
passing, ain't I? Like, I'm passing the class. Ain't like what? Like, listen,
I,
like,
I get you, but at least they said something. I would be like, "Hey, look, y'all." They said, "We know," and now they back watching the Wayans brothers.
yeah. But here's the thing: I
You
bring
know,
home one F, or I bring home like, or I failed to, I do too hot on the test, right? Oh, I'm all sorts of dummies and idiots, or like, oh, you not college material. Why don't you just go ahead, go join the army and get shot? Maybe you might be
man,
useful.
that's crazy,
Like,
man.
you don't know how many times I was
We
told that growing up,
we had to deal with a lot of
but
verbal abuse.
right, but then here's the thing: you expect me to still respect you, but
You don't give me no
but you
respect.
give me no respect.
Mm.
And even as an adult, you don't want to give me any respect. So yet you're expecting me to give you respect. No, now I'm not going to talk to you how you talk to me, but I'm not going to go the extra mile with you because what for? What am I doing that for?
Now we gotta wrap it up because we do got to get the kids to bed.
Yeah, blabbermouth, we gotta get the kids to bed.
Any
See, this
final thoughts?
hour and 20 minutes that we spent talking, at least 55 minutes of that was you.
I take that.
No, I'll take it back. 65 minutes of
Okay,
that was
I
you.
take that.
No,
Any?
no, no. 75
Oh, okay,
minutes of
I
that was
take
you.
that. Do you
No, there's
want
some
it?
other things you can take too.
Okay.
But
Do
we
you
can't say
want
it
to
on
do
camera.
any final thoughts?
No, this isn't Jerry Springer.
Okay.
We said what we
We
said.
said what we said. Now we may see you tomorrow.
Maybe, if I feel like it.
Hey, just turn on live notifications so you can be notified